Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 19th, and the time is 6:34 p.m., and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First on our agenda is our consent agenda, minutes from October 15th, 2024. Any questions or comments on the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from October 15th, 2024.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Next is warrants 25, 26, 28, 29, and 31, which have been being passed around for signature. Any questions or comments on those? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
Make a motion to accept warrants 25, 26, 28, 29, and 31.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is visitors' comments. Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative assistant prior to the opening of the regular session of the school committee. The visitor will identify themselves by name and address and shall speak for no longer than 3 minutes. For anyone unable to sign in ahead of time, we ask that you clearly state your name and address so that this information can be included in the record for the meeting. No visitors. Next is student representative. Cole.
Thank you so much. Quarter 2 is underway, as you all know. At the high school, the program of studies is under review with updates being made to reflect our current course offerings. In student engagement, December extravaganza is in the works and filled with various activities for the entire month. The senior class won the quarter 1 attendance competition and earned a pizza party. Principal and assistant principal, the parking spots were raffled off. I'd like to wish a congratulations to Mia Smith, our new Project 351 ambassador. Anthony Mishasic and Ellie Slozik attended the PVIAC Leadership Conference this past Monday at the Hall of Fame. Senior portfolio students visited the UMass/HCC Arts Department yesterday. As for community involvement, Second Step has been embedded into the junior high health lessons, and PBIS was implemented in the junior high last week. We recognized our first group of recipients last Friday. Well-being and support. NHS students participated in a leaf raking event, and they are now running a food drive for bonus points through December 13th. As for upcoming events at the high school, the admin will reconvene with the student voice group in anticipation of launching advisory. Over at East Meadow. The new East Meadow after-school program began yesterday. I was told they're starting with 3 days per week and are now working towards a 5-day week once more staffing has been hired. The East Meadow Student Council elections were held earlier in the month, and the group is now up and running for grades 4 through 6. The group is working on collecting supplies for Granby to go. As for school culture and environment, administration has been starting to hold monthly free recess/activity events for students in all grade levels who have been working hard and following rules and expectations. This has been quite popular and impacts student motivation and behavior positively. We had a very successful fall PBIS field day in early November, which I was lucky to take a part of. I got to be at one of the soccer stations, which was very fitting for me. This is one of the community building PBIS events that is held during the year. And as for future plans and goals at the middle school, we are planning a holiday craft event for the 20th of December. On December 16th, the school is trying something new called, quote, Little Shoppers, unquote, in which students can purchase low-cost gifts for family members. And that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Any
want to
questions?
congratulate you on an excellent soccer season.
Thank you. With you right here. It's the end of a good run.
Yeah.
We had a couple of good years. So obviously we won Western Mass last year, and we were in contention for league for a couple of years. So I'm very proud of what we did.
You should be.
Yes, thank
And
you.
I know the team will miss you.
I hope so. I hope they feel the way soon.
Thanks for your report. Any questions for Cole?
Well done as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I guess you're not going to go anywhere because you're going to do the donation.
Yes.
Some floors.
Yes. So I was told that I need to present the fact to you, the school committee, that Summerlin Floors has donated graciously $2,000, a sum of money to offset the price of the class of 2025 yearbook.
That's excellent. Any questions on that? Thank you to Summerlin Floors. That's amazing. If there aren't any questions, I will take the motion.
I'll make the motion to accept the Summerlin flooring donation to the class of 2025.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. I think that's it for you, Cole.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Next up is policy C. So this is our second read or this our second read? Yeah. Any questions or further discussion on policy C? I don't see it in this folder. It's from last time.
Mhm.
Give me that, bring it over.
Yeah, I think what's still there is the highlighted changes and the strike throughs, based on our first read.
Any additional comments or questions on this? I felt like we were all pretty comfortable with it initially. If we're all set, I will take the motion if there's no further discussion.
Make a motion, excuse me, make a motion to accept policy C.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is a donation from PTO.
I guess I could speak to that. The PTO made a donation of $1,527.42 for classroom supplies for the junior senior high school.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
I'll make the motion to accept the donation to the Granby Junior Senior High School from PTO for classroom supplies.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is a donation from Taekwondo.
There was a Taekwondo event held at the Knights of Columbus in Chicopee. There's a link on the presentation overview in your folder. It was able to raise $640 for the East Meadow principal gift account.
Any additional questions on that? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
Make a motion to accept the donation from the Taekwondo fundraiser.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is donation of field lights for the lighting project.
There's some information in the presentation overview. There's a link. So some parents, some community members have looked into what it would cost to get, or what it would take to get lights for the varsity field behind the junior senior high school. I've been in communication with a couple of the people involved in the project, as well as the town administrator, and working through some interpretations on what is the best approach for us to be able to have a lighting project here on campus, and so that we can move forward with this. It's taking a little bit more to kind of sort out the details. What is the best approach to be able to make this happen? So.
Any questions or comments on that? We're not ready to vote on this yet because we need to still work with the town. But if there are any questions or whatever, we can make sure that they get answered.
The work with the town, is it just kind of dotting i's, crossing t's in terms of any permitting or needs and things like that?
Also procurement process, does this fall under
Mhm.
a 30B or not?
So that's where there's some discrepancy.
Mhm.
So there is, the group of people is really trying hard to do this. So, I think it's great that there are people that want to try to do some things, because it would, clearly you can see my husband's name is one of the people at the end. So I'm familiar with it, but, one of the things is that it wouldn't just be for just for soccer.
Mhm.
Lacrosse could play on there. And then also we could open it up for like GAA for tournament games or whatever. And, I think it would be kind of cool if we could figure out how to get it together.
Mhm.
All right, so we will postpone a vote on that until we can figure out what's next. If there aren't any other questions, we'll move along to the interim superintendent goal.
Okay, I put my goals in there for everybody to take a look at. It's a draft, so if you have any questions or comments or things you'd like me to add to it or take off, just, let me know as we go through. I just want to let you know that in creating these goals, I went back to our district priorities and identified high quality instruction and safe and supportive schools as one of our first two, and I made that in line with a student learning goal. I combined number 3 and 4, which is communication, collaboration, community engagement, with systems and structures as my professional practice goal. So if you want to go through them with me, want me to read them all off as we go?
Just do the highlight.
Okay, so district improvement goal is high quality instruction. I just want to make sure that we continue to provide high quality instruction to the students through the use of tools and resources for the teachers, which includes PD. And that would include, making sure that we take a look at the data. Are we meeting the students' needs by what, their testing looks like, what we're using for benchmarks, and surveying the staff members to see, what they continue to need. And then the safe and supporting learning environment, we actually have those grants that we're still working with, the hate crime grant, and looking to
Bless you. Bless you.
to talk about the socio-emotional learning programs. Again, as Cole said, we talked about the second steps in PBIS at the high school, working with that. Really, we'd like to make sure that we continue to work to make sure the school is a safe and welcoming environment for all the students. And what does that look like? Really trying to get the students a sense of agency, that they have the opportunities to talk to us and what they're looking for. I've actually started meeting with students to try to get their voice and see what they're looking for. I met with with the 2 student councils at the high school and the junior high, and I'm continuing to work with the students to see, what they need and work on that. As far as student learning goals, just want to continue to take a look at the IXL and the DIBELS to see that students are making growth in math and literacy, and we're hoping with the new IM math that we're starting to see some progress. Doing some walkthroughs in the classroom, we're starting to see the teachers really get a handle on how to teach the IM math. It's, it took a lot for them and a lot of anxiety and new way to teach for a lot of them, but they really are stepping up to plate, doing a really nice job. So we're going to continue to monitor that. And the professional practice goal, I think it's really important as a superintendent to, make sure that everybody is collaborating, working together. So a couple of things I want to do is create a comprehensive communication plan so we can get it out to the families, who's in charge of what and what the chain of command would be with certain like that. So creating some sort of document for that, and then creating a hierarchy. We don't have a hierarchy of like, if I was to leave, would be next in charge. So we're looking to create that as well. And the last one is looking for new engagement opportunities. And that is part of my listening tour right now, that, what can I do to get more engagement? Again, in meeting with some of the students, some of them had said, they like a music club, and, some of them, were really excited with the ski club, and we have the esports this year. So they're really liking some of the things that are happening. So we're trying to, find, again, that's part of professional practice goal, also the student learning goal. What can we give for advocacy for students? And these are all of the things that Superintendent Sullivan put in place, and I wanted to make sure that we continue to follow that great strategic plan he put in place, and we're continuing to move forward in that vein. And that's what I have.
Any questions?
I think the goals make a lot of sense. You can see the thread and the continuation of
Mhm.
things that have already been started, but then, picking up on things like the communication and establishing that hierarchy and like making sure things are in place so that people know who to go to and when and why, I think would be really helpful.
And I'm working with the union on that as well. So, because teachers have some questions as well. So I've been meeting with them weekly on that as well.
Nice.
Excellent. If there isn't any additional discussion, I will take a motion.
This is a draft or is
I can make this the final, and I put it the draft because I wasn't sure if you guys had some things you wanted me to.
yeah, do we want it to be the final? I'm fine with that.
I mean, I think it captures what,
I didn't want to finalize it until you guys approved it, so
Oh.
makes sense.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'll just take the watermark.
With it. Make a motion to accept the superintendent's goals for 2024 through 2025.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any additional conversations before we vote?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Like, so clearly it ties to the strategic plan,
Mhm.
right? Is there a time when, or have you already met to talk about how this will, what sort of standards and indicators you'll measure against?
I put that on the key points, but I don't, I will put that during my mid-cycle, I'll be adding it to that.
And talk about that together.
As a group, yes.
Great. Thank you.
My only question was the equity thing, but Ms. Jordan explained it to me for like.
Yeah, it's
5
really just
minutes.
making sure the students have a voice. We want to make sure that the students are being heard and
I'm all over it now.
Gotcha.
Her explanation was excellent.
she did a nice job.
Yeah, that was a good explanation.
Yeah.
All right, I think we seconded, yeah?
And I'll take the watermark right off.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well, actually, we should take just a minute. This is Liz LaFond. She has been appointed. She's our newest school committee member. I'm not sure, were you able to get sworn in today? Oh, well then please come and sit at the table.
You're at the end.
I was late, so.
That's all right.
I was
I
accepting my
thought when you
punishment.
I thought when you sat down that you hadn't made it over.
Of course,
Oh.
yes, I did. That was a priority for me today.
Excellent. So we're so glad to have you. And then in the same breath, I also received the resignation letter of Jill Pelletier today.
Oh.
We knew it was coming. It still hurts. I'm terribly sorry to see you go. Her last meeting will be December 17th. So her resignation will be effective December 18th. So unfortunately, that puts us back in the position where we will be down a member. So, again, we need to, hopefully it won't take us another 8 months to be able to find somebody. So if anyone has any ideas or thoughts or where we can go, that would be lovely. They can reach out to me or to anybody on the committee or Mary Jane. So we'll have to work on that. So on that lovely piece of happy news, we'll move on to the enrollment dashboard.
Anyway, I didn't know that. I did look at these.
Just wanted to let you know that we had 3 new PK and preschool enrollments. We had 2 students withdraw because they were moving out of Granby. And then 1 in 9th grade and 1 in pre-K. So enrollment has increased by 1. We have 678 students now. It's a little give and take. We're making slight progress.
So
they-
were you able to use 678 or 677?
We had to use 677. We have to use the October 1 numbers.
Not that one person.
No.
Any questions on the enrollment dashboard? Okay. So we now are going to adjourn to our subcommittees. We have policy and evaluation and then finance. Liz, you can sit in on whichever one of the 2 that you would like. Half feeling like I should voluntold you to sit in on policy because that's the position that Jill will be vacating. But you are welcome to sit in on the finance piece as well.
Anyone who knows me knows that finance is not really my thing. I understand at high level finance for school districts. Policy and evaluation is much more up my alley.
Fabulous. so that might be the perfect time then. So it is 6:54. Do we have a lot to go over for finance? Do you have a lot that
No, it might make sense to, I know we put both, not sure what would meet and in what capacity, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to hold on policy now that we have the approved goals.
Mhm.
And just if, Mary Jane, if you're available to kind of pop in to talk about like what it's looked like. in
That would
the
be good.
past,
Maybe the
like those next
benchmarking
steps.
that you talked about, that would be, I'll do that.
Okay, so do you want to start with a half an hour-ish? We'll reconvene at 7:30.
Yes. I
And
think
we
that'll
can
be
touch base before then if we need
Mhm.
to. And then we'll come back at that point and report out and finish the meeting.
All right, great.
Okay, welcome back. So policy and evaluation.
So we talked about, now that section C was reviewed and updated, moving on to section D with all the policies included in that section. So we'll have that sent and then we'll get a hard copy too, so it's a little bit easier
Mhm.
to go back and forth, and do some of that work. And then with the evaluation side of things, since the goals were approved tonight, we just kind of went through with Mary Jane, like what it looked like in the past. And if that's what people want to see going forward, it's like using that same template,
Mhm.
and then just like plugging in the pieces, highlighting and discussing any standards and indicators, and then having that process carry through to kind of towards the end of the school year, where then everyone can fill out their own. And then kind of one or two people as part of that subcommittee can kind of just compile all that information for like the final evaluation.
Okay. Do we have a timeline
For which part?
evaluation?
So we talked about the fact that we had historically tried to have that final presentation at the first May meeting. That way, everyone had that time frame of completing their own evaluation prior to the second meeting, which typically came after elections.
Mhm.
And so that way it would be due right before anybody might transition out.
Mhm.
And then all that information could still be compiled and then reviewed at that second May meeting. So if that's the way, everyone wants to go, then that's what it looked like in the past. And we at least just had that conversation.
Okay. Any other questions or anything on either of those? Okay, finance.
So we discussed the ending balances and projections for ending balances of all our revolving accounts. School choice is looking good. We also talked about the budget calendar, projection of key dates and key individuals when we're going to need information, and then how we're going to synchronize with the town in order to develop our fiscal year 26 budget. So got some excellent milestones in place. This year is currently on track. We also discussed capital improvements, specifically the generator replacement, and how that's going to go down. So waiting on getting some quotes from an electrician and reusing the pad. Demolishing the existing structure and using that space, and why that space needs to be used and not supplemented with an additional pad because of. Nope,
I'm
you
so
only get-
sorry. It's usually sneezing threes. I'm sorry.
But everything's on track. Key dates for fiscal stuff is locked in and distributed, and we're in a good spot financially, at least right now. Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Superintendent's report.
Well, I had some of this from the November 6th meeting, but I do want to let you know that we had the trunk or treat, which was very exciting. I'd never participated in a trunk or treat before, so I really enjoyed that. And there was a ton of parents and students and teachers. They did a nice job, so it was good fun by everybody. November 5th, we had a full-day professional development day, and some of our topics included a safety care training, PBIS, high-quality instruction in the classroom. They had a presenter, Ann McGill of McGill Consulting, who talked about how to group students in classrooms and, do more of the high quality instruction work. Writing goals for the new IEP process, and that took place with social workers and school psychologists. And we also talked to other districts, also joined in some of our PD. Belchertown joined us. So that was nice to work with them. And we're looking at them again next year to see if we have some common days that we can support each other, share some services with each other. So we had an AI workshop presented by Sue Crago, and the teachers really, really loved that based on the survey. Had another couple of workshops on de-escalation strategies and ST math. Our nursing director had a couple of announcements and wanted me to let you know that Granby To Go is collecting donations of plastic grocery size bags. Bags can be placed in the green crate at the bench of East Meadow and in the Granby To Go mailbox at the high school. So they need bags to put stuff in. If any families are interested in having a COVID test kit sent home for Thanksgiving, please contact Nancy Jenks. It says Friday, November 5th, but you can do it at the end of this week. It's fine. If you're interested, you can receive one box, which contains 5 tests. And I just want to congratulate the girls varsity soccer team for clinching the Western Mass title with their win over Hopkins. And then, and we also had mention the boys soccer team earlier, so I took it off my notes. But that's all and I also wanted to, which I didn't put on here, but I also wanted to let everybody know that we inducted 18 students into the National Honor Society on the 15th. And it was a very nice night, and the kids were really proud of their work, and we're really proud of them and their parents. And it was a really lovely evening.
All right. Any questions? Todd, you're up.
So in addition to the updates from the subcommittee, so state grants are starting to be approved. We've got our hate crime prevention grant. The funding is finally approved. There's a couple more we're waiting on the budgets to be approved to start drawing funds and implementing those. I met with the maintenance department to review our winter procedures in the unlikely event that we'll have any delays or cancellations. Our motto is the more prepared we are, the less snow we'll get. Also, I completed the annual end of the year report, financial end of the year report. I've submitted that to the town administrator for his review, and I will be uploading that to the state before the end of the week, a month earlier than last year. So I'm making some progress on that. So that's all that I have.
Any questions for Todd? All right, Jill.
So we'll have a meeting soon. I'm just waiting on kind of a follow-up as to when that is, because it's every other month. And then with the November, December kind of shorter months, they're looking at meeting. So I'll have an update once I attend.
Excellent. Okay, so for our next meeting, which is December 3rd, I believe.
Mhm.
Anything anyone wants to make sure is on the agenda? Any leftovers or anything from tonight?
Not from tonight. We met on superintendent search committee.
I was just gonna say that. Superintendent search is for sure. And we'll need to have an executive session next time too. Anything else? All right, if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion.
Big motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a great night, everyone.